Been a rough week of dysphoria. Excited to kick back with the chat 3. Mamma mia pizza pia baby got the diarrhea. 17 months here watching have helped me get my life together in a lot of ways. I'm in a better place in my life now. Hassle. Hussein Pogo.
What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, pre-noon. No matter where you are in the world, I'm Hassan Piker in this Hasanabi broadcast coming to you live from sunny California, Los Angeles. Folks, we are live. We are live and alive, and I've been sitting in front of this monitor basically waiting for 11 a.m. to come so I could start the stream. And the reason why I'm so energized and excited to stream once again, as I usually am normally, is because I took a day off. A lot of you are aware of this, but yesterday was my day off. I followed through on that promise, and honestly, it was a good idea. It was a good call. And the reason why it was a good call is because I spent most of the day laying in bed. My brother just got back from the Baja XL. Hung out with him, and you know, we had some brisket that my mom made. It was a great experience. Most importantly, I spent the entire day.
Love you, Hassel.
Are you just taking one day off a month? Kind of. But I spent the entire day watching Sopranos, and it was so good. It was so good. I restarted I restarted watching Sopranos, and goddamn, what a fucking show, dude. I'm gonna turn off the music for this one. It's such a good show. I literally finished first season already. I blew through the first season in one day. That's all I've done. All I've done is watch Sopranos yesterday, lay in bed,
16 months Hassel, bring it,
you know, stretch a little bit. I guess you could say that it's character research, and I'm doing character research, and that's what's going on. But also for fun, for pleasure. Fuck the news, no pixel, let's go. No, I'm not gonna do that. Sorry, I have to. Last time it was King of the Hill, and this time it's Sopranos.
Thanks for streaming his sound.
So, yeah, no, I really have been enjoying it, and it's been so good, and it's going to be reflected in my character.
Thanks
for
for
sure.
Giving me a place to stay every day. You brighten up the world.
What were you doing on No Pixel yesterday? Nothing. I just I went on to see what was going on, to see if I could fuck around with some people. You know, to hang out with some people off stream.
Chat, I love you
and you know, maybe grind a little bit, make some money, so it's more fun when I'm on stream. But people kind of didn't want to hang out. I mean, I guess they were doing their own thing. So
check in on the stream.
I couldn't reach anybody. I tried reaching Buddha, and maybe I didn't really try to reach anyone. I just tried to reach Buddha. That was pretty much it. But they were already doing their own stuff, so it's oh my god, the fucking donos, dude. Holy shit. Okay, Jesus Christ, resub. Andy's over here. There's so much they want to say. One day, I'm gone for one fucking day, and people are like, dude, I literally have to tell you my entire day right now. I missed you. I'm losing my fucking mind. You need to hear the TTS. Okay, muted it. Early on, yeah, Buddha did call you. I don't know. I feel like No Pixel seems like everyone just wants to grind money right now. Yeah. Buddha got caught up in some crazy shit. Can he get back to you? Anyway, you don't have to tell me. It's not metagaming. I'll ask him. But right now, it's mostly just people grinding and trying to make money. I found a way to make money. The easiest way to make money is deliveries. It's $100 a delivery. It's pretty easy. If you have a hunting knife, you could literally get some roadkill on the way as well. And depending on where you're delivering, you can double up with some roadkill on your body too. We'll figure it out. We'll figure that sort of stuff out. It's ironically very similar to the fucking real world, where it is incredibly difficult to fucking make money, especially when you're poor, because then a big chunk of a big chunk of the money that you're making, you have to immediately spend on food and even gas, I think. Like there's like a lot of gas and shit that you need to. I haven't had to pay for gas yet, but I think you have to actually do that. And of course it pushes you to do crimes, which is understandable and great, and that's the fucking point. But it's not exactly fun to just do deliveries all day. Why'd you say your taxi is now worth 50K? Wait, what happened? Oh, did they put a medallion cap on taxis or something? Anyway, it is really cool. Okay. Fat Man Jersey, I know you normally make like, fun dad jokes and stuff, but you're I think you're itching for a ban right now, brother. Are you speed running a ban or something? What's going on? Don't be annoying. I'm gonna give you, you know what? I'm gonna give you 30 seconds off as a warning. One guy is RPing Silverhand. I saw some clips on LSF. Anyway, we're not going to talk about No Pixel right now. Now is politics time. Like, full-blown politics time. We're back. Come on. As far as personal news goes, that's what I did. I watched The Sopranos all day. Watched the fucking Sopranos. I finished the first fucking season already. Oh, Gomar. I'm trying to find a Gomar over here. Very good. Good stuff. It's great. There is hella politics in No Pixel regardless, so that's a fun thing that we are going to get to eventually. I might unironically run on a Andrew Yang style UBI program to advocate for that, because people need disposable income that's higher than what we have currently, because it's fucking nuts that it's. And I want people to remember that it's not. I want people to remember that this is not real life, so I can't advocate for fucking strong labor unions because the way that, or socialism because of the way that the games economy doesn't work that way. Do you understand? So don't get mad at me and be like, why aren't you doing fucking socialism? Like, why aren't you running on socialism if it's so fucking popular? It's like, you can't do that. The game's mechanics don't allow you to actually make money that way. You know what I mean? Like, there is no exploitation of labor in the game. It's already automated, all of that stuff. Anyway, yesterday, me and the moms were watching Super Bowl on offline chat, and let's say I lost all my channel points. Oh, really? Are we sliding with Biden now? Seems like he's bagging off the $15 minimum wage. Oh, good question. We are going to be talking about that in 1 second. Hold on. That's all that there is for personal news. I'm going to tweet out that I'm talking about politics and, welcome the Normans and the Holmes. And then we'll get into No Pixel in a couple hours. Probably in 2 hours or 3 hours, we'll get into No Pixel RP. Okay? Love you all, but let's get started. Take Care is live. Feeling refreshed. I do feel very refreshed, by the way. Taking a day off. Talking about $15 minimum wage. Because part of the reason why I didn't stream yesterday, even though I really wanted to, was because I find myself getting mad unreasonably. I find myself yelling at members of my community, and part of it is you guys do annoying stuff all the time. You're annoying half the time. You are, because you want to get my attention, and you're spamming or you're saying dumb shit to get my attention, and it's fucking annoying. But if I'm in a good mood or if I'm centered, okay, then at least I don't pay attention to that, and I can avoid that sort of stuff. I don't seek out the most negative comments and get super mad at it. And we can move on. And it's for maximizing content. It's to make sure that it's as fun as possible for everyone. Because I can't stop you from being dumb. You're anonymous on the internet. Of course you're going to say dumb shit. I say dumb shit when I'm anonymous on the internet too. So it's still entirely my fault, I think, when I start getting unreasonably angry at stuff. It's always funny though when people are like, why are you getting mad? I was just spamming stupid shit knowing full well that it's gonna like make you angry. I don't understand. But you know, that is the whole thing. It's right. It's up to me to react to it or not react to it. And by the way, some of you know what the fuck you're doing. Others literally are like, I don't understand why you're mad. Like, so I feel a lot better. So we'll see what happens. Bernie backed off the $15 minimum wage. That's not true. He did not back off the $15 minimum wage. What are you talking about? I don't know where you got that from. Anyway, daycare's live, feeling refreshed. Taking a day off. Talking about $15 minimum wage. And where it goes from here. Watching the Sunday shows with insane Republicans. And getting started on Senate impeachment. No pixel. RP later. Get in now. www.twitch.tv/Hasanabi. Okay. There it is. That's the tweet. I tweeted it out. I did it. You can go blast it to your friends, your family, your loved ones. Let them know to come in. There's a lot of stuff that there's a lot of stuff that we're gonna react to as well. There's like reaction content that I totally did not pay attention to. Is BOTW done or on break? Breath of the Wild? I mean, I finished Breath of the Wild, but there's plenty of content to still consume on the game. There's like, you know, labyrinths and stuff that I could play around with. There's some shrines that I haven't completed. There's the DLC, but I'm not going to do that right now. There's a lot more. There is definitely Breath of the Wild content in the future on the stream. I started playing Hades as well. Very fun. I downloaded Hades and I downloaded Mario Odyssey for the Switch for all the fucking Nintendo boys. I downloaded both of them. I started playing Hades already. It's very fun. It's very good. It is remarkable that this is where handheld consoles have gotten to. I'm of course gonna watch the Super Bowl commercials as well later today. So you know, this is just fucking jam packed. All right, we're gonna have Tom Brady memes. Actually, we'll just get started with that. But the second Trump impeachment, yeah, okay. Macius, thank you for that link. That's great. That's a great playlist. There's a Republican who died of COVID. First Republican in Congress who died of COVID. Not a elect congressperson elect, but like an actual congressperson. And COVID is still going on in America. Republicans were wrong that COVID wasn't going to go away, or at least like COVID hasn't actually gone away, but maybe the Democrats are kind of acting like it went away. I don't know. I'm a little annoyed by the way that some of these Democratic governors, including Cuomo and Gavin Newsom, have been behaving. But let's get started on second Trump impeachment trial set to begin Tuesday.
Of former President Trump set to begin in the Senate tomorrow, and our new poll with Ipsos shows that 56% of the public believes the Senate should convict Trump and bar him from holding federal office again.
Wild numbers that only 56% think that Donald Trump should be barred from federal office. Only 56%. That number might seem high, but it's not. That is incredibly low, if you ask me, in comparison to what the fuck Donald Trump has done so far.
43% are against convicting him. Congressional correspondent Rachel Scott has the latest on how the House prosecutors will make their case. Good morning, Rachel.
George, good morning. And we are learning those House impeachment managers plan to rely heavily on video to make their case. The goal here is to remind those senators, now jurors in this trial, of the chaos and violence that they witnessed on January 6th as they place the blame squarely on Donald Trump. With just over 24 hours to go, Democrats are preparing to make their case against the former president, relying on a trove of videos to force senators to relive the insurrection, arguing Donald Trump incited it all.
We will remove them from office one way or another.
The man in the horns and face paint is Jacob Chansley. In this newly released video, seen here celebrating right after the siege. His attorney says he believes he broke into the Capitol at the request of Trump. An ABC News investigation identified more than a dozen others who say they thought they were following Trump's lead. And Democrats say that's the point.
But they were. And they are. And I do hope that some of these idiots finally recognize that, like, you know, they could potentially... I think it's out of self-preservation that so many of these morons are finally saying, like, well, we thought Trump was giving us the A-OK just so they can get out of a prison sentence. But also good. There is truth to it regardless. Like, you know, put yourself in front of Donald Trump's well-being for once. He certainly has never cared about you.
Doing the deadly rampage would not have happened without the former president.
We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
The president was taking steps to make it worse, not better.
Trump's lawyers say he did not incite the riot, insisting he was exercising his First Amendment rights. Now, in the final hours before his second
Yes, I did hear about the efficacy of the AstraZeneca vaccine.
impeachment trial, the vast majority of Republicans holding the line of defense, claiming the trial is unconstitutional. Republican Congresswoman Liz...
Okay, so claiming that this trial is unconstitutional is an age-old Republican defense for everything. As you know, they love to play fast and loose with the Constitution, except it's not unconstitutional, as we found out that there was a... in like the 18th century, there was or in the 19th century, there was an instance. I forget exactly what year it is, but someone has been impeached in the past, not a president, but it was 1882, where or 1840. Hold on, I'm just gonna tell you exactly when it was. Hold on. Impeachment. Okay, so there's two reasons for why it's idiotic that, of course, you can impeach someone after they're done. Well, because if you can't impeach someone after they're done with their term, then everyone will just resign, and then there's no accountability. You know what I mean? Like, that would be insane. You could just resign and then run again. It would be like a cheat code. You know what I mean? Oh no, sorry. I can literally do whatever I want in that, like, final month of my service in my term. And then if you try to impeach me, I'll just run away and then get zero repercussions. It's fucking insane. Okay? It's a completely psychotic, nonsensical, insane position. So I'm, of course, not surprised that Republicans would try to do that. Nixon resigned so he wouldn't be impeached. Yeah. It seemed like Nixon was going to get impeached, so he resigned. Doesn't matter. It's not like pulling a Nixon is not exactly the smart thing to do. That was his way of getting out of it, and saying that, like, I'm gonna pull a Nixon here when Donald Trump can't do it already. He already used the entirety of his term. But saying that you're going to pull a Nixon isn't exactly your saving grace here. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm just going to do a Nixon here. Like, okay, sick. Well, he was a bad guy and he was going to get convicted. So fuck you. Who cares? Also, Nixon wasn't running again, and he wasn't going to be able to run again. He had already done 2 terms. So, yeah, it's like saying that if you committed tax fraud at a company and then left the company, then said you can't charge me because I quit the job. It's ridiculous. It is completely ridiculous. It is baby shit. It's so bad that, like, it's like me on no pixel servers trying to defend and disconnect myself from the actual crime that I did end up committing when I, like, robbed someone. But then I was like, oh, you didn't see me rob someone. And I just thought I was getting in an Uber fucking, I was getting in a taxi cab to go home. I had called the taxi. Like, that's not an argument. Okay? That shit only works barely in fucking servers. Okay? In, like, video game servers when you're doing role play. All right? It is completely insane. Completely insane to be like, well, actually, presidents could literally do whatever they want in a lame duck session because they're going to go... and there's no accountability measure for it. They can be as tyrannical as they want, and there's no accountability or enforcement measure for it at all because you can just do the cheat code of resigning, okay? Or you can carry out your term till its end, and the Senate can't ever convict someone post them holding on to a position. Also, the other irony is that you can't really convict someone of crimes when they're the president while they are the president. It's great. It's great. It's like a double jeopardy. You just literally cannot. Once you become a president, you're God King. You can't be convicted of a crime while you're literally the president, okay? While you're in office, because, you just, they'll take away from your... There's a lot of things that presidents have to do that are that would be considered criminal, potentially, okay? And you can't be convicted in an impeachment trial post-service. So it's like a double bind. It's great. Perfect system. Great. Of course, that would never work for the Democrats. It only works for Republicans. The last tweet that the rep who died of COVID sent was calling for all students to return to school immediately and teachers forced to work through COVID. Well, this is why I don't fucking, I don't feel bad when some of these people die of COVID. I'm sorry. Like, I'm just being honest. I'm being real. I'm being honest. You can fucking be shocked all you want. But, like, if you're a piece of shit who literally is, like, denying COVID, telling others to risk their lives, and then you finally, like, for once, karma or some sort of, like, blind justice is served to you, and you experience what you are subjecting others to, I'm not going to sit here and fucking shed tears over you. Just like I didn't over Herman Cain. Which is hilarious because his account still, he might be dead of COVID because he went to the Tulsa rally famously to, defend Republicans who would never defend him in a similar capacity. But his Twitter is still alive and well and still posting COVID misinformation from time to time. So is he even dead? Maybe not. Aren't presidents supposed to be able to use presidential immunity in impeachment trials to suppress witnesses from their own administration? If this is allowed, then the other party should just impeach every president and senator after their powers of office have expired? Yeah. That will be an argument that you will hear. Is that if we start impeaching presidents post-term, then what's stopping us from impeaching Barack Obama? What's stopping us from impeaching Bill Clinton? Right? Well, part of it is, okay, you impeach them. Who gives a shit? They already carried out 2 terms. They're not going to be able to run again regardless. And secondly, fuck yeah, that's awesome. Definitely impeach them. I don't know what Republicans will try to impeach them over, but if it's over like actual high crimes that they have engaged in, crimes against the American working class or something like that, then yeah, great. Literally impeach every single president. Every single one of them. Yeah, impeach Bush, especially. Oh my God, which will never happen, so it doesn't matter. But regardless, as we were saying, this has happened. There's historic precedent for it. William Worth Belknap, who was the 30th United States Secretary of War, who was working with, who appointed someone to a position of power and I'm going to give you like I'm not going to give you like all the details here, but what he ended up doing was extort money, or not extort money, but like put someone in a position of power as the Secretary of War, where he made, I guess, in today's terms, in today's dollars, like $20 million a year, I think, or was it 5 million? Fuck, I don't remember. But, you know, when the Civil War started, he remained loyal to the Union as a pro-war Democrat, joined the Union Army. After the American Civil War ended, he appointed Belknap, now retired from military service, to the post Iowa Collector of Internal Revenue. In that position, Belknap was responsible for collecting millions of dollars in federal taxes. Collectors were paid a percentage of the revenue they brought in, which made the position lucrative and highly sought after. Where is it? What is happening over here? Yeah, he received profits from trade ships reached. Representative Heister Clymer, chairman of the Committee of Expenditures, Department of War. And there was a trial. And Republicans at the time, who he was a part of the Republican Party, and this was like when the party was supposed to be good. At the time, they made the exact same argument that Republicans are making right now, where they said, or some of them did at least, where they said, oh, this is insane. We can't just impeach him post his position. He ran to the president, cried, and resigned immediately, with hopes that he could salvage his reputation. And then they still ended up impeaching him. So it doesn't matter. So there is actually precedent for someone being impeached once they've carried out their term, or even resigned in an effort to make sure that they don't get impeached. So yeah, they still ended up impeaching him. So Republicans are going to say this is unconstitutional because they have no other argument. Okay. Except it's not unconstitutional. It has happened in the past.
Cheney still standing by her vote to impeach, calling on senators to listen to the evidence.
And this is not something that we can simply look past or pretend didn't happen or try to move on. We've got to make sure this never happens again.
The timing and structure of the trial is still unclear this morning, but both sides signaling they want it to be over with quickly, George.
Okay, Rachel, thanks very much.
Nothing will come out of this trial is a falsehood. That's wrong. I am a firm believer that you absolutely should have, and you should be using every fucking state mechanism possible to push back against this sort of stuff. Do I think it's largely a symbolic action? Yes, it is largely symbolic. Do I think Trump should be prevented from running again? Absolutely. Do I think Trump deserves to be impeached? Yes. Not only does he deserve to be impeached, but he also deserves to go to jail. So, sorry. You have to do something, okay? I know that it's not going to solve the real problems facing the, working class and their material conditions, but you still absolutely, without a fucking shadow of a doubt, have to maintain some form of institutional legitimacy and also control, and enforce accountability on people who think they can get away with literally fucking pushing for an insurrection by lying about the outcome of votes. Republicans haven't stopped. They're literally still lying. They are still lying to their audience, okay? They are such weaselly little liars, dude. I mean, they have not stopped. Republicans have not stopped questioning the integrity of our elections. They're still claiming that that this election was stolen. Some of them are still doing it. A lot of the pundits are still doing it. Like, you can't do this. It's over. Unless you are one of those accelerationists living in a developing nation who wants to completely accelerate America into full tilt fascism and have it inevitably self-destruct, in which case, go off, keep supporting Republicans. But every other situation outside of that, it's devastating. It's insane to have no accountability whatsoever. I think that is significant. I think that is important, and that's precisely why I'm on board with impeaching Donald Trump. And you will hear a lot of people. You will hear a lot of people say This is such a bullshit trial. Why the fuck are they doing this? Just get to the $15 minimum wage. Get to the 2K stimmies. You fucking pieces of shit. Fuck you. You're going to hear that a lot of lefties say this sort of stuff. You're probably going to hear that from the Chabo Boys when they release their podcast later today. I don't care. I don't want you to come back to me and be like, well, you know, Matt Christman and Felix and Will are against you. Amber said something that is totally against your point of view. I don't care. Okay? I don't care. My point of view on this issue is that you absolutely should have some fucking form of accountability enforced within the system so that even if the symbolism lovers and the jurisprudence fetishists and the Constitution understanders can point to 20 years down the fucking line when there is yet another fascist uprising, where there's yet another fascist uprising, they could just turn around and be like, well, here's the precedent. It's kind of like this. I'll give you an analogy from stalkers. Okay, I'll give you an analogy from stalkers or domestic abusers. When you go to the cops, when you are in a domestic abuse situation, the cops don't actually do anything. They don't defend you. They don't protect you. If you get a restraining order on someone, okay, there is no protective barrier around you that respawns like an enemy when they come through your protective barrier, when they breach that restraining order. No, that doesn't work that way. The reason why you get a restraining order is so that it's written in the law that this person is violating the law, and that there's enough evidence in the end when that person who's stalking you does engage in some sort of crazy behavior. That doesn't mean you shouldn't stop yourself from defending yourself and figuring out how to defend yourself outside of the law. Do you understand what I'm saying? But it's still important to have that kind of established, documented wrongdoing, that you are taking the necessary precautions and the necessary measures within the system of the law as well. Because ultimately it helps you down the line. You get it? Because cops are notoriously horrible at stopping domestic abuse from happening. They themselves, and according to at least some older studies, are personally responsible for domestic abuse happening. But having said that, you still have to get a restraining order when you have a stalker so that at least it is documented that this person has been harassing you and stalking you for a while. Regardless, though, that's not the end-all be-all. You should still work outside of the legal system, as cops will literally personally tell you, as they did to me when I was getting fucking death threats nonstop. They were like, go out and get a gun and defend yourself. We can't do shit for you. So it's still important to work within the system as well. And this is what you do with impeachment. If you want to avoid fascism, if you want to avoid a further acceleration towards fascism, then you have to at least in some respects utilize the state machinations. And this is one enforcement protocol that you can use to enforce accountability on a president. That doesn't mean you shouldn't stop and analyzing the material conditions, the underlying material conditions in which fascist radicalization occurs, and trying to solve those problems. But this is one metric, or not metric, sorry. This is one measure that you have to take. Not impeaching Trump would set the president that the president is essentially a king and above the law, and smarter than Trump. Anyone smarter than Trump will 100% abuse that. Yeah. Why can't we pass the stimmy first and then come back to the big peach? The stimmy and the big peach are happening simultaneously. The Senate can do both of those things at the same time. Republicans are going to just use that against. Republicans are going to use that to avoid having the stimmy convo, but like, it doesn't matter.
Turn now to the first part of our exclusive interview with President Biden. In the wide-ranging conversation, we asked about where he's willing to negotiate in his stimulus plan. You've said you're not compromising on the $1,400 checks. You made that promise. You're sticking to it. So the big question is who gets the check?
Right.
Is it someone who makes up to $50,000 or is it someone who makes up to $75,000?
I'm prepared to negotiate that, but here's the deal. Middle-class folks need help. But you don't need to get any help to someone making $300,000 or $250,000. So it's somewhere between an individual making up to $75,000 and phasing out, and a couple making up to $150,000 and phasing out. But again, I'm wide open on what that is.
You also want to raise the minimum wage to $15. Is that something you would be willing to negotiate on in order to get Republican support?
Well, apparently that's not going to occur because of the rules.
This part is really annoying because Joe Biden has enough technical know-how on how Senate proceedings work and how procedures work in the Senate from all of his years in the Senate. He's been in the Senate for fucking 7 million years. He's been in the Senate before the Senate even existed. He was basically in the fucking Greek parliament with how old he is. And this motherfucker is still acting like the vice president can't vote to overrule that protocol and push for a straight majority vote on it. Like, it is malarkey. I mean, the guy who literally founded the Senate and laid some of the bricks on the Senate himself is over here acting like that's not a tool that he has in his tool belt, which is really, really annoying and frustrating.
Of the United States Senate.
So you're saying the minimum wage won't be in this?
My guess is it will not be in it, but
And that's frustrating because, like, if you were doing your fucking job, Norah O'Donnell, you would turn around and be like, well, you do have options. It's not like completely dead in the fucking water. You have options. Options like Kamala Harris overruling, like voting to overrule the supermajority vote. The Senate was Roman, not Greek. Whatever, dude. I said parliament. It doesn't matter. Shut up. Greek, Roman, suck my dick. That's not the point. I was trying to make a joke there.
I do think that
override the parliamentarian
wage, stand by itself, $15 an hour, and work your way up to the 15. It doesn't have to be boom. And all the economics show if you do that, the whole economy rises. I'm prepared as President of the United States on a separate negotiation on minimum wage to work my way up from what it is now, which is pain. Look, no one should work 40 hours a week and live below the poverty wage. And if you're making less than $15 an hour, you're living below the poverty wage.
But that may not be in your American Rescue Plan.
No, I put it in, but I don't think it's going to survive.
Let's turn to the impeachment trial.
Like, this is so defeatist. Why would you say that? I mean, if there's one thing that you should absolutely 100% copycat from Donald Trump, it is at the very least, like, using every form, using the bully pulpit to agitate for your plan. Even if you know, even if he wasn't lying here, and even if he literally did not have a single shot of getting this through, right? With budget reconciliation, all he has to say here is like, Republicans are desperate to stop the American working class from getting $15, $600 a week, $15 an hour, $600 a week. Can you imagine at a time of a pandemic that has devastated the working class after years and years of jobs being shipped overseas, something that I'm going to change. After 4 years of Donald Trump lying about saving the American working class, I'm here to actually do something, and Republicans are stopping me from doing this. Why can't you just say that? Why can't you just say unity, like his chief of staff said? Unity is not about uniting with Republican politicians who are representing the better interests of corporations of the wealthy. Unity is about uniting the American working class, restoring the American working class. And the American working class is on board with this measure. And that's what he should be saying here. But instead he's like, it's going to be dead in the water, Jack. It's fucking terrible. It is a terrible, pathetic, weak-ass response. And the only reason why you would respond that way is if you yourself don't have any genuine investment in this. If you don't actually want to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. I hope I'm wrong. Joe Biden has done fairly well with a lot of the executive orders so far. There's glaring obvious flaws that I have also mentioned, right? So we'll see what happens.
President Trump's impeachment trial. If you were still a senator, would you vote to convict him?
Loser. Reminds me of the argument surrounding forced to vote. It's almost like Joe Biden is bound by ideological formations that Trump isn't. Ay, dude. Actually, I probably should give him a week off. The fucking Jimmy Dore fans on the left are so cringe. You embarrass yourselves at every step. Like, just say you like charismatic individuals who are anti-establishment and move on, okay? You just don't like establishment, which is fine. We don't either, but we are in entirely different fucking wavelengths when it comes to politics, okay? Centering my ideology around, centering my political point of view around just hating the establishment is so fucking stupid when there's so much more to it than that. You just point your establishment ray at any sort of person that you deem to be unworthy. It's literally purity politics. And the irony is you end up fucking loving someone who is the most establishment or who represents the interests of the establishment, like Donald Trump. Donald Trump wasn't bound by ideology. Yeah, really? You're going to tell me that about the guy that ended up being a gangbusters president for the Republican Party? A dude who was so fucking good at being a Republican that the Republican turnout increased in historic numbers? Really? That Donald Trump? You're going to tell me that Donald Trump was a bad Republican president? Are you out of your fucking mind, dude? Get the hell out of here, dude. Just, you are as focused on the aesthetics as neoliberals are. That's the inherent irony of the anti-establishment shitlords, is that they are just as hyper-focused on the aesthetics as the neoliberals are. It is literally the same fucking energy as those who operate on the principle of the horseshoe theory, where, plenty of centrist neoliberals will say stuff like, oh, it's the two radical points, it's the two polarizing radical points that are outside of the establishment that are the problem. And the further you go away from the middle, the more radicalized you get, and it's a problem. Both the communists are a problem and the fucking Nazis are a problem, right? Like, that's what neoliberals say. You basically are flipping it on its head, and you're saying, no, the establishment is the only problem. Both the Nazis and the fucking communists are not a problem. Both of those ideologies, or both of those political points of view, literally revolve around, focusing on just a group of individuals and the words that they use instead of the actions that they take and the outcomes of those actions and who benefits from those policy positions. Okay? It's very stupid. It is very, very, very stupid. It's stupid when the neoliberals do it. It's stupid when other Twitch streamers who are political commentators do it. And it's fucking insanely stupid when Jimmy Dore does it, but in the opposite way.
Look, I ran like hell to defeat him because I thought he was unfit to be president. I've watched what everybody else watched, what happened when that crew invaded the United States Congress. But I'm not in the Senate now. I'll let the Senate make that decision.
Well, let me ask you then something that you do have oversight of as president. Should former President Trump still receive intelligence briefings?
I think not.
Why not?
Because of his
Sorry, this is unrelated, but certain factions of the communists are part of the problem? No, they're not. They are insanely irrelevant. And if you actually think that communists have a legitimate voice in American politics, or if you legitimately think that communists have any sort of influence beyond being fucking annoying shitlords on Twitter, you are out of your fucking mind, okay? And I say this as an anti-capitalist myself. There are plenty of fucking communists in here. Most of them would agree with me that they have no fucking say whatsoever in American politics. They don't even have a say in most leftist fucking spaces, okay? Please stop. Are you a fucking fascist? Are you a Nazi? That's what the Nazis say. Literally, that is what neo-Nazi, psychopathic alt-right people say. And that's what your fucking dad says because he watches Fox News. You're like, it's the anarchists and communists that have invaded the Democratic Party. Really? Zero say whatsoever. There is not a single fucking out and about communist in this goddamn country that holds a fucking fraction of political power, a modicum of political power. Are you out of your fucking mind, dude? Are you insane? There aren't even that many of them in general, okay? This chat is so lib, I hate it. Yeah, this is it. That's it. That's all you're gonna get. All you're gonna hear from Marxist Leninists and shit is that, oh, you guys are so liberal, man. I fucking hate it. And then they keep coming back to eat that garbage, okay? Because they eat from the trash can of my ideology every fucking day because they also know that they have no fucking power and no influence. The only people that say communists have power and influence, either in American politics in general or in any political space whatsoever, are people who are permanently and extremely fucking online, and they have permanent brain rot from being online, and they constantly see people with like hammer and sickle on Twitter saying stuff like, that's not good, sweaty. You are doing the imperialist bidding of social fascist Bernie Sanders. Like that's... And that person is completely irrelevant. I'm sorry. On the other side, though, there are a lot of fucking white nationalists, fascists, and neo-Nazis in actual positions of fucking power. Okay? And I don't mean just like people who wear Klan robes. Like, I mean, Stephen Miller was writing white nativist immigration policy. Stephen Miller is completely ideologically guided and motivated by actual white supremacist scripture, white supremacist texts. Okay, so like, miss me with this fucking insanity where like there's communists on the other side. Like, no, there isn't. The most radical politicians you have in the Democratic Party are AOC and Ilhan Omar and people like that. There is no both sides. The things that they advocate for are not even fucking full tilt like Vanguard Party revolution. What they advocate for aren't Marxist-Leninist principles. What they advocate for is basic social democratic reform, just like Bernie Sanders. There's no both siding this, okay? Hits up Strawman for content hogs. Attacks Jimmy Dore fans out of nowhere despite not being mentioned or alluded to. False for this Dark Souls 3 bait post-sleep. Okay, thanks, man. Thanks for your concern. See you in a week.
Unrelated to the insurrection.
I mean, you've called him an existential threat. You've called him dangerous. You've called him reckless.
Yeah, I have, and I believe it.
What's your worst fear if he continues to get these intelligence briefings?
I'd rather not speculate out loud. I just think that there is no need for him to have that intelligence briefing. What value is giving him an intelligence briefing? What impact does he have at all, other than the fact he might slip and say something?
And we will have more.
Okay. Let's continue. We're going to watch this entire interview. I don't know if there's like one big one.
We're going to turn now.
Or not, but why do ex-presidents get briefings anyway? Dude, Donald Trump didn't read the briefings when he was president. Why in the ever-loving fuck would he even read the briefings or want them when he's not president? Like, when did he read the fucking briefings? Does he know how to read? We don't even know. It's so funny. Republicans are... it would be hilarious if Republicans take on this mantle and be like, it is unprecedented not to offer a president like Donald Trump the briefings post-presidency. It's like, dog, he is illiterate, okay? Like, he has never read, dude. And I say this as someone who's anti-reading myself. I'm just kidding. But, like, why the fuck? Why is this even a point of contention? Half the problem with the COVID stuff was that he just didn't read the briefings. They had to fucking PowerPoint it to him, dude. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Get the fuck out of here.
To the first part of our exclusive interview with President Biden. In the wide-ranging conversation, we asked about where he's willing to negotiate in his stimulus plan. You've said you're not compromising.